On today's episode of Transformers Tuesdays, we're going to be taking a look at the Blokees Classic Class 2007 Megatron. Kicking things off with accessories, we get his cannon that he uses in the movie. The thing about this is it doesn't fuse onto both hands. You can only put it on one hand. There is a peg in the back and there is holes in the palms of his hands. So you can use it on either the left or the right. Another thing to note is that the cannon itself can split in the middle through this little peg. Let me get this to focus. There we go. Through a little peg right here. So if you want to have them with a small cannon, you can definitely do that. If you want to have them with a long cannon, you can definitely fuse it together. Or as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, if you want to plug each section into one of his hands and have him kind of with a dual wielding cannon of sorts, you can definitely do that as well. When it comes to his chest, you actually get two options. This being his normal chest piece and this being his damaged chest piece. The cool thing about this one is you can see the Allspark cube in the middle of his chest, which is really cool. And it's very easy to interchange. You just unplug this and plug in whichever you prefer. And in case you're wondering, this is what he looks like without either of the chest pieces. As it is a standard for the Classic Class series, you do get a stand that can be split into two smaller stands right there in the middle. It's very easy. You just slide it in the pegs. And there you go. And then you do get two little effect pieces. This time around we get blue, or not blue, purple, flame effects reminiscent of the Decepticons, right? So it's purple, or in my head canon, reminiscent of Dark Energon. So that's pretty cool. They do have pegs at the bottom of the effects, and you can plug them into any of the holes in the stands as well. There is 4 pegs right here. If I can get this to focus, there we go. We got 4 little pegs right there in which you can peg in whichever Classic Class Blokees figure that you choose to. Turning off the lights to show up the light up feature as it's classic with the Classics series. See what I did there? All you got to do is shake your figure a bit and it will turn on. I will say that the light here on Megatron is not as strong as it is with Optimus Prime. It could be my batteries. Also, I do have the damaged chest piece here since there is red translucent plastic in his chest just to see if the line would shine through, but so far we have nothing. Even when I turn off the light completely, you can just see his red eyes flashing through. Articulation wise, it's the exact same system and joints as it is for every other figure. The only real difference is the hindrance, right? Because of the molding, the sculpting allows a little more range in some figures than it does with others. With Megatron, in some cases, it is a little limited. So we'll start with the head. We got your ball joint that allows you to look up a little bit, down or neutral, side to side, and then a better range of tilt compared to Optimus. We get a ball joint at the shoulder that allows us to turn the arm all the way around. A little hinge right here that allows us to, is it a hinge? Yeah, it's a hinge right here that allows the arm to go out that far, bring it back neutral. There is that peg and hinge at the elbow, which allows us a little over 90 degree, or actually 90 degree right there, and then it can act as a bicep swivel if you choose to. There is ball joints for the wrists right here that allows you to rotate and then tilt a little bit side to side, up and down, and each of the fingers on both hands is individually articulated on a hinge, allowing you to move them up, so you can open up this entire claw system here, right, or close them up as you prefer. Turning him around to the back, there is these 2 little wing pieces right here on the sides. They do hinge out and in. So just pointing that out. Nothing necessarily at the torso. We do have a peg here at the waist that allows him to rotate 360 freely. There is a ball joint for the hips, allowing you to go out that far, bring him back in. We get rotation. He can go out a little bit, but then you have to kind of angle his thigh to go out more. One thing to note with Megatron is as you lift up the leg, it does like to pop out due to the sculpt and the armor pieces. And then back, not so much due to his plate right here in the back. We get a hinge for the knee, which gives us basically a single get that to focus, a single jointed knee, and then you can see that little armor piece fell off, but that's fine, we'll get back to that. And then you do get rotation here at the knee, allowing you to rotate left and right. And then you have ball pegs at the feet, allowing you to go down, up, and then rotate as needed. For size comparisons, keeping it Blokees related, here he is with the classics Transformers 1 Optimus, and then the 2007/Revenge of the Fallen Optimus as well. And now, for no real reason at all, here is the Studio Series Megatron with the DNA upgrade kit, and then the 86-liter Megatron. Final thoughts, love it or hate it, here is my opinion. This is another great entries to the Bayverse Blokees Transformers. Megatron actually looks really, really cool, and he's probably one of my favorites. Where Optimus Prime, I felt, had a little bit of issues with proportions, Megatron seems to just kind of pull it off a little better. He still has that little cartoony effect that Blokees tends to have, but you kind of know what you're getting into, right? So you can't really complain about that too much. However, there is still some shortcomings in this particular kid, specifically parts like to come off of him a little more than they did with the 007 Optimus. As you all have seen during this review, the shin armor pieces like to pop off very easily. And like I mentioned in the articulation segment, the hips do like to come off just articulating this up. Well, typically they do, but obviously since I'm recording now, he won't do it, right? But outside of that, he is pretty neat. There is some things that I wish they would have included, such as, you know, we get the cannon, which is cool. We get the damaged chest piece, which is a really cool bonus. I think it would have been cool if the All-Spark cube would have been able to come out of his chest. I guess technically you can remove it, but it doesn't look good. It's like half a cube, if that makes sense. So I didn't even try to show it off for this video. Another thing that would have been cool would have been his little, what is it, his maze chain thing that he uses to smash the building and throw Sam off of it in that 2007 movie. He doesn't have that. But with Blokees, so I feel a little greedy for wanting more, considering the price point and just the overall love that goes into these little mini model kits. It's hard for me to kind of complain about that, if that makes sense. So this is more so wishful thinking. Also, I have to double check the batteries to see if maybe my Megatron is either the battery's dying out, maybe I didn't get a good battery, or maybe Megatron just doesn't have that bright of a spark, right? His eyes do shine, light up a little bit, but not as bright as Optimus Prime, and then you can't really see anything through the chest. Anyway, that brings us to the end of another Transformers Tuesday. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.